Hey guys, welcome back to RIPP Superchargers, and today we have a 2016 Dodge Charger SXT on the dyno. This is a rear-wheel drive car powered by a 3.6-liter Pentastar. This vehicle is naturally aspirated and here for testing before we do the supercharger. So this is an 8-speed car. We like to do these tests to prove the before and after, and most of the time we're able to compare the two in terms of where we gain the horsepower. Now this vehicle is mostly stock, and I say that because it's got a MOPAR cold air kit on it, as you can see here, but the exhaust system does remain stock. The tuning in the vehicle, there are no extra tunes like, no Diablos or HP tuners or any of those little gadgets that enhance the performance. So this vehicle basically is what you're driving around stock. Now what we're doing here, and as we explain in every video, is we're testing the horsepower at the rear wheels. That means we're testing the horsepower after the transmission, after the drivetrain, and the weight of the rear wheels. The manufacturer likes to advertise a much larger number, which would be closer to 300 or 360, which is at the crank. That means the engine measured alone by itself. Brake wheel horsepower is the horsepower measured at the rear wheel, which is what we do here at RIPP Superchargers. It's a rear wheel horsepower. So, as we like to do all the time, we like to make some noise. It is strapped down. We'll test it and then we'll talk about it. All right, let's see what we got here. It's a nice clean pass. Not too bad. Get some of the noise here off. All right, exactly what we're looking for. 263.5. So it looks like every vehicle that we put on the dyno basically is making about the same horsepower naturally aspirated. This is before the supercharger. So 263.5 horsepower peak. No weird things like the all-wheel drive was doing. The torque is just under 250, so we'll call that 240 peak. So yeah, this is basically what we're looking for, a vehicle that's pretty stable, just like the rest of the vehicles in a naturally aspirated lineup. Before we supercharge them, they're making about 260. When you throw an air filter on them as well, that's about 10 horsepower. So we've seen some vehicles squeak a little less, something like 245, 248, about 250. So the air filter is good for about 10 horsepower. I'm going to just round that out there because that's what it's good for. On a colder day like this, it is the winter, we'll get a little bit more on it. On a hotter day, we might get a little bit less, so 210 makes a lot of sense. So the next time you'll see this vehicle, it'll be RIPP Supercharged. We'll have the compressor on there. You'll see the intercooler on all piping, and we'll see what it is we're looking to gain. Generally speaking, we're up by about 430 horsepower at the rear wheel. Sometimes we're a squeak more, sometimes we're a squeak less, but that's pretty much where they've been. Look forward to it. Stand by.